Okay, YouTube, we're back working on another charger. This is a 2011 PPV charger. Now, customer brought it in. They wanted to swap the wiring harness. So they had got a wiring harness from a 2011, same model year, civilian charger. Now the issue was that the PPV charger, once he pulled his carpet out and everything, it has rubber mats in the PPV. So once he pulled everything out, he got to looking at the harness. A lot of his harness was cut up and wires was spliced into it. If you see, wires like this was spliced into the harness. These wires was actually running through here into the door because the mirror, underside of the mirror had a strobe in it. The trunk release thing has been moved for some reason from this button to this button. A lot of weird things. And another thing with the PPV, you also know that it's a shift on the column. So here's your shift on the column. So okay, fast forward. Now we got the wiring harness from a 2011 Charger, civilian model. He got the shifter. Got the complete harness. So what we did was we unplugged the old harness, the PPV harness. We plugged everything in. All of the wires matched up, on the connections with the body control module. Everything else matched up. We hooked everything up. It was plug and play. Very simple. I mean, besides taking everything apart and everything, but like I said, all of the wires pop right back into place. The wiring harness, everything. We got all of that complete. Of course, there's some extra harnesses because, he doesn't have a console in here yet. We plugged the shifter in. Certain harnesses, for things he didn't have. This car doesn't have an antenna that goes on top right here. The little shark, of course, it's on top of the car. But the little shark fin antenna, his doesn't have that because it had a police antenna. All of that. So there's a few things that are missing that he has plugs for now that he didn't before. Okay, once we got everything plugged in, we couldn't get anything to work. The car, we actually switched. So first of all, the door locks, none of that stuff was working. So I actually switched. When I did the swap, he had the complete wiring harness. So let me get back here. Now this right here is your RF hub. So not only did he have the complete wiring harness, sorry, I'm trying to crawl back here. Not only did he have a complete wiring harness out of the other 2011 Charger that was a civilian model, he had the RF hub too because it's a part of the harness. The harness runs back there. It hooks into this hub here. Then it comes back out around here on this side. And it all ties together. So when he pulled the harness out of the car, he actually had the RF hub from the civilian model. So me not thinking anything about it, I actually thought this was something to do with your radio, because RF hub, radio frequency hub, myself, I thought it had something to do with the radio, maybe the antenna and all of that, because it also has a wire right here that plugs in on the civilian model harness that plugs in here, and the wire runs up and it comes up underneath the headliner, and it would plug into that antenna, and then another wire comes on this side, hooks into a little box, comes over here and will plug into the antenna and complete the circuit. So mind you, we put this whole harness in here, so I'm thinking, okay, he has this new RF hub. I hooked that up, put it everything. The car won't start. It's not sensing the keyless remote, key fobs, none of that. So I get to messing with it, so something just tells me to switch it back. Okay, so I switch it back. I take the RF hub out off of the civilian Charger, and I put the one off the PPV back. So when I put it back on there, now I can hear the door locks clicking underneath the dash. When I press the door, unlock and lock, I could hear it clicking under the dash from the body control module, but it wasn't actually unlocking and locking the car. So after doing a little research and trying to figure it all out, once I switched the RF hub back and it was sensing the key again, I could start the car with the key fob. So I could start the car, everything. The passenger tail light wasn't working. The center brake light wasn't working. The trunk pop wasn't working, even with the keyless remote. A few other things wasn't working, but the car would start. So we got to doing some research, got to looking around on some forums, and figured out that the pin of the body control module in a PPV is pin different for the harness. So not only was the harness, it looked identical, everything plugged up the same exact way, but the pins and the plugs that hooked into the body control module and ran back the car that hooked to everything else, the doors and everything, were actually pinned different on the civilian model harness. So okay, fast forward, what we ended up doing was, it was a good thing, luckily, when he grabbed everything that he grabbed out of this civilian Charger, he actually grabbed the body control module, just thinking just in case. So it was a good thing he did it. So actually what I did was, I put the new body control module off of the civilian model Charger. I got it all put in, everything. The car would start, but it wasn't reading the body control module. The doors still wasn't locking and unlocking. So what I actually had to do was, we got the Autel scanner. We recently just purchased this. It's a very good investment. It's a very pricey investment, but it's a very good investment. This is the Maxim IM608. This scanner has the capability of programming key fobs. It can reprogram just about anything on the car. I mean, this scanner is amazing. Like I said, it was pricey. It was a pricey investment, but in the long run, this scanner is gonna, bring our business to the next level. So I know a lot of folks that, may watch this video are looking to do it yourself, DIY. I'm simply trying to give you guys some insight onto it so that you know what's involved in switching from a PPV, trying to go to the civilian, put the floor shifter in, everything like that. So if we wouldn't have had this scanner right here, I would never been able to rewrite the body control module to make everything tie together, to sync together. So luckily we had the scanner. So what I did was, I had to use the scanner, and the RF module that I showed you in the back window, I left the one in it from the PPV. So what I had to do was, I had to reprogram the body control module to sync with that RF hub in the back window. And what it does is, I guess it programs the body control module to accept the frequency from the key fob. So when we put the new body control module in there, it wasn't accepting the frequency from the key fob because it wasn't communicating with the RF hub in the back window. So by me reprogramming the body control module from the civilian model Charger to the existing RF hub, then it tied everything together. So now we were able to get the keys to, work with the to lock and unlock the car. Here's the, here's the key. Let me see. He actually had two key fobs. One of them wasn't programmed. So here's the key. We actually got it to work. Everything works. The vehicle starts. For some reason, his key fob battery is low, but you see the vehicle starts up. None of the codes are on anymore as far as the rear brake lights, the turn signals. The trunk popper actually works now. If I hit the trunk popper on the key, it actually pops the trunk. Everything works. So this video is just trying to give you guys an insight into this and show you that it can be done. Now, before I close the video, I want to explain one more thing to you. When you change the harness from the PPV, as I said before, everything is repinned in the body control module. So now, when I switch the body control module and the new harness, it actually took away the control of this column shift. So now you see the car is in park. When I press the brake, I cannot shift the column. So what it's sensing now, it's picking up the floor shifter. So you see a floor shifter, if I put it in neutral or reverse, it puts it in reverse on dash when I put it in park. So now, even though he only switched everything over to this, we were under the impression that even though the harness was the same, that he still would be able to use his column shifter, and we were mistaken. So now what we're gonna attempt to do is he doesn't really have the money right this second to switch the whole column out. The column from the vehicle is available, but he doesn't quite have the money right now to purchase everything. You know, he's on a budget. He's trying to switch little things over as he can. So what we're going to try to do now is attempt to take the shift linkage from the civilian model and switch it over, disconnect the linkage from here from the steering column itself and the column shift, and we're going to run the shift linkage that was on the civilian model from the transmission to the floor shifter. And hopefully, since the wiring and everything already bypasses and he's able to use the floor shifter, and it, you know, it's sensing it on the dash, the computer is sensing that the floor shifter is active, hopefully everything works in that sense. This will still be in the car temporarily until he can get the money together, you know. So it's kind of sucks, you know. You got this column shifter right there and you're going to be using the actual floor shifter, but at the same sense, you know, you got to take small steps, and you know, at least he'll be able to drive his car right now. So I just want to give you guys some insight to what we got going on today at the shop. This is always a learning experience, you know. Few of our friends are real big into these Dodge Chargers right now. It seems to be a big trend with people. The Hellcat, the Scat Pack, the Red Eye, the RT model. I mean, they just have so many different Chargers, different body style, years, makes, and models, and they seem to be a big popular thing right now. So that's why we got into them. You know, we're trying to expand our business at the shop, trying to, you know, learn new things every day. And this has been a big learning experience. So I hope this video can help somebody. You know, and just show you that this can be done. But if you don't have access to, you know, a scanner of some sort with these capabilities to be able to rewrite the body control module, then, you know, you're going to end up having to pay the dealership, taking your car to the dealership, getting it towed there because it's not going to be started and everything. So I just want to give everybody insight and let you know the problems that we found today, and you know how we overcame them, and hopefully this helps somebody in the future. Thanks for watching.